everyone, it's your girl Victoria and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while since I've seen you guys, but you know what? Sometimes you just need to take a break and enjoy life. And while I was away on my little vacation, I was going to a couple of places. You'll definitely see some videos later on this year about where I have been going. And on top of that, I decided to try to dig up some family history. Now, I know pretty much my mom's side of the family, and I know a little bit about my father's side of the family, but I decided to just try to see and link up missing puzzle pieces, I guess you can say. So while I was doing that, I did find some interesting things. Now, the first thing I found was in my mom's old photo storage trunk, this old magazine cover from the 1950s from the Negro History Bulletin, a picture of my great-great-great-grandfather. Now, while I'm showing you some of these pictures, I cannot show all of them because I did not get all of my family's permission, and just out of respect, I'm not going to show everybody's pictures because I would like the same respect from them too. And while messing around in the trunk, I did find some more pieces of the magazines, and I found an old picture. This was taken with all my great uncles and my grandfather, who is my great grandfather, who is right here. This was at their only sister's funeral. You guys can see that there are also a lot of fair-skinned people, so obviously that is where I get my color from. I also found a picture of one of my great uncles, Arthur Paul Davis Sr. The cool thing about him is that he ended up going to Howard University and then to Columbia College, which is up in New York. And once he did graduate, he was the first Black American with a PhD in 18th century English. So obviously we come from a very smart family. Not that I'm bragging. To show you a picture of his son, Arthur Paul Davis Jr., which I know, cousin, you were probably watching. You were the true MVP. I love you, and I know we'll be seeing each other pretty soon. And this is also my Aunt Nancy. She was the painter. I've spent so many days with her, and it was mandatory to have to leave with a painting in the house. Why? I don't know why. I suck at painting, but that was just the rule of the house. And this lovely, beautiful young lady right here, that is my grandmother. I get some of my looks from her. Ella Davis Jordan. Obviously, she married my grandfather. The cool thing about it is that my mom actually more looks like her now that she's older than she did when she was younger. My mom's one of those combo kids, so when she was younger, she looked like my dad, my granddad, but then ended up looking like my grandmother as she got older in life. While doing some more snooping around, I did come across this Life magazine, and this has some more pictures of family members. So obviously you guys are seeing that they are fair-skinned, and this is where I get my color from. So no, my dad is not white. I am not a biracial child. I'm not, making fun of anybody who is white or biracial. I am just simply showing you guys where I get my skin color from. And while I was looking through this magazine, my mom had let me know that we were related to Thulani Davis. And she is a famous writer, and while I was looking her up on the internet, I found out she is the aunt of Charles Stone III. You guys have probably seen a couple of his movies, like the TLC movie or Mr. 3000, Paid in Full, and his famous one, Drumline. That is my cousin. And on top of that, he is famous for his What's Up commercials. I saw it all. It's definitely. Okay, so like I said, I don't have a whole lot of pictures of my immediate family, and I didn't get permission from everyone to use their photos, so I'm going to just show you which ones that I do have. And I'm going to start out with this very handsome couple. This will be my grandfather right here, Thomas A. Jordan, and again, my grandmother. and my uncle, who is the oldest out of 6 kids. Now, if you guys notice, I kind of favor my grandfather the most because he did want me. I am the first girl that was born, and out of a whole generation, almost a whole generation, and I'm just the favorite in general.
Oh my God, I know you can go there.
Yes, I am the favorite.
That's a controversial statement.
Of course, younger pictures of them. This is actually my favorite one. Well, both of my favorite pictures of them. And I also have pictures of my eldest aunt and uncle. Obviously, you guys can tell my aunt definitely gives off the girl next door look, and my uncle just looks very distinguished. Which, by the way, he used to be a retired, well, he's a retired engineer, and he did get featured in this Jet magazine in 1997. He used to actually work for Procter & Gamble back in the day. Again, like I said, I come from a long line of smart people. And this right here is my mom. Which picture did you have? This one. And this one right here is my mom. Like, it's just my mom.
Notice we had Black Santas back in the day. What's up? That's why, you know.
Yeah, I again, have to cover certain pictures of people.
We didn't get permission, so sorry.
Yes. And you guys just saw I literally look like my mom, so, but you guys knew that already. Now, here is a picture of all my aunts and uncles back home from the motherland.
All right.
And this guy right here, that's my dad doing something simple. And that's his twin sister. So, yes, twins. Go figure. Now, this is my sperm donor. An African man. A guy from the motherland. Not a white guy. This guy was married to my mom. What would you say about him?
I don't want to go there because I may insult a few people.
So yes,
I was taught to be mindful and respectful of the dead. So anyway,
yes, may he rest in peace, I guess. But yeah, this is my dad. Obviously, I kind of look like him from the jaw down. I get my big buck teeth from him. So anything else you would say I got from him? Other than my smarts for computers. For computers. So this is an old picture of my mom from way back in the day. You can tell it was the 80s because look at the hair.
Wow.
Look at the hair.
The hair blowing in the wind.
But yes, this is my mom in her 20s. She used to date a Channel 4 cameraman back in the day. I'm not going to name any names because, again, don't have permission. And obviously, my mom, she looked like a pretty cool person back in the day.
Always cool. Still cool.
I wouldn't say all that. But anyway, and this was her old supervisor.
You pulled that out too?
What is that? Like, what? Mom, seriously, what is the hairstyle?
Hey, don't worry about it. It was a bad day.
And look, she was a office manager, supervisor.
No, excuse me. What does
well,
that
it
say?
says supervisor from the Office of Election Officer. Office of the Election Officer. So
you want to read that?
No, Mom, that's what it said. Office of the Election Officer.
That is correct.
So I can read. Now, just to do
wait a minute, you gotta cut that part. That's too extra.
A rare photo that you guys are probably ever going to see and maybe say, aw. But yes, this is me. Not sure if you can see that little lucky light bright over there. But yeah, that's me, my big old head and everything with my dad. Anything you need to say about that? Mom?
No, not really.
But yeah, so obviously I was close to both of my parents. I don't really have too many pictures of them. They weren't really picture people, but you know, they made sure they got a lot of pictures of me coming up.
Just hold on to the memories.
Yes, and then that is me. Mom had to, get some pictures of my dog. So yes, it does look like a fish out of water, but no, that's a Japanese chin.
your dukes.
And then got a couple of old school photos.
Oh,
Mom with her
Lord.
little snatch back in the day, and you know, me with my little red heels.
Very little red
So
heels.
yeah, these are like old pictures. I think that was Disney
Look
World.
at the hair on that one on me. Boy, that was tight there. You can't say nothing about that hairstyle.
That kind of looks like, oh God, what was that old group back in the day? Salt and Pepper hairstyle. So yeah, a couple of pictures of me and graduation. One of my old classmates, don't know where she is, but yeah. You know, I had a fly hairstyle back in the day. That one, God, that was art actually. That's art. And then, of course, you got pictures of my uncle. I don't need his permission because he's no longer living. But yeah, we met Bill Clinton actually. This is kind of... And then, of course, Mom's going to say something if I don't show you some more of the little animals. This one she was kind of terrified of, the little guinea pig.
At first, I didn't like it.
Well, yes, okay, at first she was terrified of it because it was blind, it was deaf, and and Mom just wasn't too fond of rodent animals back in the day.
Kind of girl.
Yeah, so... And, of course, these are all of family members on my mom's side of the family. Again, looking like a little Jewish lady. But no, she's black. But yeah, so while I was continuing my DNA journey, I ended up getting a box from MyHeritage.com. It took about 6 to 8 weeks for me to get my results back. Then I decided to do a little test and see what I got out of Ancestry.com. So once I got my results back, I found out the two famous people that I'm also related to is famous writer Carter G. Woodson and the 11th President of the United States, James Polk. I remember my mom and I were talking about that actually in the Madame Tussauds video. If you want to check that out, I'll leave a link in the description box below. MyHeritage. It took about 6 weeks for my information to get back to me. And this is what I get. They provide you with a map and they highlight the areas you guys are seeing. So I am 65.2% African.
You're what?
I am 65.2% African, and 50.8 of it comes from West Africa.
What? You don't have a white dad? I thought you were mixed.
Obviously, I'm not.
Well, anyway, that's the rumors that she's been listening to all her life. People have often questioned if her dad was white. Sorry, I'm not really down for the swirl unless it's chocolate and vanilla ice cream. That's about my limit.
Okay.
I'm not mad at people if you decide to have interracial relationships. That's your thing. My thing, black man. I appreciate them. So anyway, just to reiterate, look at that. It's a high percentage for you to have a lot of African blood in you.
Well, I mean, people also, too, forget slavery did exist.
Exactly. So we do have mixed blood in us. Those of us who have been in America, even though we have ties to Africa, we're going to have some of that DNA from other locations as well.
Well, that's obviously true. But anyway, I'm also 31.6% European, 1.6 Asian, and 1.6 Middle Eastern.
Okay.
So obviously, I've got some of the world in me. But anyway, so once we went to the DNA matches, obviously they will give you people that you are related to, but we didn't see any pictures. So we decided after seeing a commercial that that Ancestry.com was having a sale at the time. So I ended up getting a box, and now we shall do a side-by-side comparison. So obviously they give you more details, pictures, let you know these are your possible matches, and a DNA story. And there I am. Let me just pull this up side by side so we can do a comparison. Go away. Go away. Okay, so let's see. What am I? Let's make this smaller. There we go. So obviously, Ivory Coast is 40%, 15% Nigerian, 12.6%, Nigerian for MyHeritage. So obviously, that's pretty close.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Somalian, Kenya.
So they give you the breakdown.
Yeah, they give you breakdown pretty much exactly on Ancestry.com, exactly which areas, and you can click on it, and they'll give you a breakdown of what areas. So I was a little more happy with Ancestry.
Well, I was happy with both actually, but it's just that although MyHeritage gave you higher percentages on certain ethnic backgrounds, with the Ancestry, I like how they color circled.
Oh yeah, they
highlighted. Yeah, they use a color code and they highlighted the areas that you are or have ties to. So that was nice.
So yeah.
So we can kind of put the rumors to rest that you have a white dad, because I'm thinking the percentages wouldn't be as high for your African roots. So anyway, moving right along.
Now we also wanted to give Ancestry a test and see if they would be able to pick up my mom.
But we had a twist to it. When I submitted my DNA, we decided to use my maiden name. So with my information as Susan Jordan, we got my results back. This is what they told us, which I thought was very interesting. As first of all,
still white people.
yes,
obviously,
yeah,
again,
white,
slavery,
yes,
all that
nice,
other stuff.
Nice white people. And
but what got us was her background.
My DNA shows that I have more European Jewish blood in me.
So obviously, mom is European Jewish. Hers is 18%.
Right.
And mine is 4%.
And look how low the Ivory Coast and Ghana from me. That even increases the chances of your father's DNA being that of African descent. Now, I have to repeat myself because folks used to question us all the time. Now, even though my DNA shows that I have a high percentage of Jewish blood in me, I was not surprised, but I did expect to see the Nigerian and the Ivory Coast because, yes, I do have black parents as well. I expected those numbers to be higher. So, anyway, we wanted to share this with everyone because, again, my child is light-skinned as she is. People often used to think she was either biracial, which is why a lot of men in my area where we live who are of white background, what are they called? Caucasians.
Caucasian.
They try to hit on me.
Because they're like, yes, I have a chance.
They think I was down with the swirl. Nope, 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 nope. Back it up, back it up. I'm sorry. I only do brothers. Thank you. So.
I don't know. You might want to take a walk on the wild side. I do.
I don't. No, that's just not for me. I'm strictly my own people. So, love you white people too, but I just don't want to have relationships with you. So anyway, we wanted to share this because it was very interesting. We could show you more, but we don't want to bore you too much. We've already shown you pictures, and we've also
reiterated this story millions of times, so I'm sure you guys know the background.
Right. So I can put all the rumors to rest with people like Brian. I'm going to call you out. And all her little friends. Name some more people that used to, and some of your relatives on your daddy's side.
I mean, heck, even my own dad questioned it.
Yeah, he did. And I invited him when he was still living to please, let's go get a DNA because I wanted to shut the whole African community down that I was dealing with. But anyway, I'm just happy we have this. And I invite people like your uncles, or anybody on your aunt's on your father's side, to please go get a test. See if once you submit it, if Victoria's name pops up on yours, because as you can see, DNA story for Susan Jordan. They did not know who I was. I just submitted it as my maiden name because I wanted them to connect us. And of course, the first person that popped up on the screen
me.
that
so
is supposed to be related to. Let's
see.
Get that. As soon as I entered my information, Victoria was the first one, as you can see, who popped up with her pretty little light-skinned self sitting up there. See, it says parent or child. So yes, they nailed it. And then it lists first cousins and anybody else that when we do know some of these, and we have been fortunate enough to meet some new, well, not new family members, but some.
Well, they are new to us.
Interested in getting your DNA tested, I say have fun with it and just expect to have a mixture, and people that mostly people you don't know, but there are going to be some that you do know as well as some that you can get to know. So that's the important thing. It was all good. I think it was well spent, and I do encourage and welcome again Victoria's family on her father's side to please go do a DNA testing, since he wouldn't when he was alive. You all can see how closely you match to Victoria.
Or if you have any further questions, y'all know the house number. One last thing before I go. One of my new cousins had introduced me to a website called jedmatch.com. Now with jedmatch.com, you can take your DNA kits, upload them, and find new family members from Ancestry.com or MyHeritage or 23andMe, just other websites that somebody else may have taken a different test. Now the cool thing about it is one girl did find me on GEDmatch, and we compared our DNA kits, which is the graphs you guys are seeing right now. And we obviously share the 8th chromosome. So as we were pretty much trying to do our family background, we found out we were related on my dad's side of the family. And the cool thing about it is she literally lives maybe about an hour away from me. So hopefully, you know, one day we can actually catch up, and instead of talking on Facebook every other day like we normally do. But I just wanted to introduce you guys to that, so maybe you guys can find even more extended family.